Happy storm day, everybody in Nova Scotia. This is just wild. This is like the winter that keeps giving. It's so funny. Today, I want to share with you two of my newest journals that I just got finished. And what a perfect day to release them as we're getting a snowstorm here in Nova Scotia. So these are altered vintage books, and I will probably do two videos just because doing them both at once in one video will be too long. So we'll just do this for now. And then we'll start on this one. So I kind of made them, I didn't know what to call them. They're kind of slashed between a journal, a junk journal, a notebook. So I am going to call them the Dirt Diaries, which is absolutely hilarious. I made them in my mind, something that you can take out to the garden. You can get dirty if you wanted to. There's no lace. It's just a lot of pages that you can take with you to the garden center if you want, and you don't have to worry about it kind of getting dirty and ruined. So that's what I had in mind. So this first one here, am I in frame? Yes. This first one here is 5 3/4 by 8 3/4. It has 1.5 inch spine, and they both have 3 signatures, and this particular one has 164 pages front and back. And there's the enclosure with this pretty little, I hope you guys can see, little charm on it, and it just goes like this, and it expands, of course. Lots of sewing, lots of empty pages so you can make your own headings. I'm going to try not to talk too much. Yeah. I added a lot of extra papers, kind of like this, like note papers that you can fill up and stick in, you know, if there are seeds or plants that you like, and then you can just tuck it right inside the journal. The distressing I used in these journals is not the traditional browns. I used Tim Holtz, I think it's called Hickory Smoke, so it's like a gray, and I absolutely love it. Coffee dyed papers, but mostly avocado dyed, so there's a slight hint of pink. So I actually designed the headings. And so this first page is just kind of telling what the journal is about. There's 3 quotes about gardening, which is just kind of fun. I wanted to make them fun. And I love, can you see the pretty paper? So gratitude in my journal, and I started you off with the smell of lavender in your hands. Every time I go by my lavender bush, I always have to touch it. And this is out of my garden or around the yard. First and last frost dates, a place for the notes. your spring to do. So there was so many pages for this book, I had to actually take some out. And I didn't want to over embellish because I wanted the person that got the journal to do some of their own, and it was already getting a little bit thick. So I mostly tried to do something on a page. So a lot of sewing, just to give a little bit of something added to a page. Be humble. This is 1897, an old, it's just a replica, a receipt, some kind of a seed, something or other. This is a vintage page from one of the seed catalogs that I have. My wish list for this year and for next. So I just tried to add some of these things. These are what when I have my journaling, garden journaling, what I use. I didn't put anything about the seeds, but I left lots of blank spots that if you do any kind of seed germination, then you can add it to it. Some beautiful little seed beads. Flowers to attract the bees and the hummingbirds. And I actually had to include this in, I've been waiting to use it from Christmas. So it's, we got it as a present, which was fantastic. It was used for wrapping paper. And I said, oh my gosh, I love that. Where did you get it? And it's the end of the roll. So I had to save it. It's so pretty. My favorite plants. Some sewing, notes. Little tuck there. And this here is going to be stamped. There's going to be, I forgot to do it. There's going to be some flowers or something in there. And then there is, of course, the difference between a flower and a weed is a judgment. Garden projects. And I thought this was so fitting. This world we're living in is mighty hard to beat. You get a beep, thorn with every rose, but ain't the roses sweet. And this is from another vintage seed catalog. There's lots of Tim Holtz, the little beads, or the mini paper clips with the little beads I put on them. Some extra. These are old vintage books that I've taken apart, and I've kept the blank ones. And this was supposed to be sewn into the book, and it didn't make it because it got so thick. And of course, I'm in the garden. See, there's lots of blank spots to add your own. It's pruning time. And some eco-dyed. Some more journaling cards, some papers. And I just love this. This is from a vintage seed catalog. And then all these little papers. And then here is the berry seed company. Just little journaling spots. Some photos. Perfect place to put your pictures. My current plant list, I always try to make one so I can refer it to it the year before to see what has not survived over the winter. This is a vellum pocket. I love it. This kind of looks like the hummingbirds are in there. Another journaling card. The weather. Pocket there. These are vintage seed packets that someone scanned. Lots of extra little papers. Vintage photo or postcard that I made. Lots of stamping, lots of sewing. And I love this. I love the snowberry plant. I just bought 3 of them last year. Plants that need dividing. Plants I moved and why. And once again, a Tim Holtz little bead, or Tim Holtz paper clip with beads on it. Some journaling cards. Lots of pretty paper. And I love this. She smelled of sun and daisies with a hint of river water. Some papers. Bloom dates. This here page, I turned it into a pocket, but this was from a vintage book. I'll have to look it up. From the archives. Anyway, it's a vintage gardening book or quotes or poems or something. Anyway, I thought it was very pretty. And this is a postcard from the Horticultural Society, I believe. And I received some paper and a gift, and I just added it to this card and journal underneath it. Perennial of the year, rose of the year. And the garden rules, which I absolutely love. And there's a little charm. So it's good and sturdy, good thick fabric. It's a hardcover book. And that's it. There's lots of tags, cards, removable papers, pockets, tucks, vintage pages. all kinds of goodies in there. So that's that one in a nutshell, and I will do another video of the other one, and these will be for sale in my Etsy shop. So have a great storm day.